Kia ora e te iwi, nau mai ki Central News, e whakanuia i te wiki o te reo Māori. Ko Hilary Entwistle-Aho me ngā karere o te wā. Tauranga City Council is sticking with its staged approach to the Rena Resource consent application in the face of pleas to take a political stand in support of the community. A neutral submission on the ship's owners and insurers' application to leave the remaining wreck on the reef is favoured by Mayor Stuart Crosby and City Council Consents Team Leader Brad Bellamy. Both told councillors at a full council meeting the process is likely to go to the Environment Court and will be extremely technical, with the judge's decision based on applications weighing up peer-reviewed reports by experts in the various scientific fields. Speaking in the public forum at the start of the meeting, former City Councillor Murray Guy urged councillors to consider supporting the Motiti Island community. The Tūhoe Claims Settlement Bill and the Te Uruwera Bill have passed their third reading in Parliament yesterday morning. The new bills will see the historical grievance of Ngai Tūhoe settled and the establishment of a new legal identity and new governance arrangements for Te Uruwera. The Tūhoe Claims Settlement Bill provides financial and cultural redress of $170 million, which includes Tūhoe's shares of the Central North Island Forest Land Collective Settlement. Mana motuhake redress to improve relationships between Tūhoe and the Crown and the delivery of government and iwi services in the Tūhoe communities, and the return of culturally significant sites and other cultural redress. The 2014 Waikato ITM Cup will be visiting 8 Waikato schools on Monday the 28th of July. Students from Raglan Area School, Woodstock Primary School, Ngā Hina Pauri School, Ohopo School, Paiterangi, Pirironga, Te Uku and Waitetuna School will get to spend a couple of hours with the Waikato players on Monday afternoon. Players will visit each school in groups of 3 or 4 with Waikato Rugby Union staff members and will run skill sessions, play games, sign autographs and join in other school activities. A prestigious award for the Tui mine remediation work at Te Aroha has come in the same week as the project reaching a major milestone with the transfer of assets to the Department of Conservation and Matamata Piako District Council. The $21.7 million remediation project at the heavily contaminated site has involved Waikato Regional Council, the Ministry for the Environment, Matamata Piako District Council, the Department of Conservation and local iwi. This week, the Regional Council and design firm URS were jointly awarded the prestigious Arthur Mead Award by the Auckland branch of the Institute of Professional Engineers New Zealand. This recognised the project's professionalism and ethical approach at the extensive effort put into ensuring good environmental outcomes at the site. Marine forecast for Saturday: West Coast, Raglan. Southwest 25 knots. It's dying away by Sunday though. High tide is at 9:42 a.m. East Coast, Bay of Plenty. Southwest 15 knots. Rising to 25 knots for a time during the afternoon and the evening. Mostly fine out there though. High tide is at 6:42 in the morning. Still to come on Central News, Disney on ice, weather for the weekend and recovery for steamers forward Jesse Acton. Welcome to Central News on TV Central. The Bay of Plenty steamers were out and about last week, meeting fans. I caught up with Jesse Acton. Now Jesse, disappointing start to the season last year for you. What kind of drove you to get well and get back out there?
It was pretty hard last year, like in the trial game. Pretty major injury, and I guess I've had a lot of thinking time, sitting on the couch and kind of just, heaps of thoughts running through my head, and what do I want to do, what do I want to be, so I guess it was a little bit of myself driving because I wanted to get back in there, and also my kids, my family. I wanted to make someone proud, and so it was I guess my family and little bit of myself drove me to get back, and yeah, wanted to be someone or be something or do something. So yeah.
So how did it feel when Kevin called you up and said?
Yeah, it's. I moved over to Tauranga this year and started training, and it took a while to get back into it. And there was times where you doubt yourself. You see the competition around, and other boys are playing well, and you're kind of thinking up and down. And then the last week before the squad got named, it was just real tense, I guess. And then when he named my name, it was just huge relief, and followed by excitement to try to do well, and a lot of hard work, I guess, paid off. Yeah.
Did you cry a little bit?
Nah, I didn't cry, but not crying, but
just relieved.
Relieved. Yes, a bit of satisfaction, but there's a huge road ahead to, I've got named, but it's kind of nothing really. You still got to prove yourself at the end of the day as to why you've been picked. So a bit of pressure there now. Yeah.
Does it make your training regime a little bit different? I mean, that was quite a serious injury that you had.
It did. Like at the start, it's taken a while to start jogging, then running, then stepping off both sides, swerving. Like it did take a while, but it's better than it was. It's stronger than it was before the injury. Kind of got steel rods and screws in there now, and then the bones formed bigger. So it's good to go now, and there's no reason why I can't train fully and be a part of everything. So
with provincial rugby, most players actually work full time. How do you struggle? How do you juggle that kind of training and working and family?
Yeah, it was. It did take a while to get used to it and get in a routine. I think when I first moved over, I was excited and it was all cool. But through the middle stages, where you got to gym in the morning, training at night, work during the day, and then my partner's at home with 3 young boys. It takes a toll on her. So I'm pretty lucky that she's been real good. Because it's. I don't know, even if I'm home for a couple of hours, those boys are running amok. So she must real struggle during the day, but. It's all good.
To follow the boys and their upcoming games, visit boprugby.co.nz. It can be extremely daunting for women re-entering the workforce after raising children or a period of unemployment. Updating CVs, interview etiquette and figuring out what to wear to an interview are just a few of the ways Dress for Success helps to build confidence in women who are applying for jobs or have an interview. Anne-Marie spoke with Hamilton's Dress for Success Executive Manager, Kayum Adams, who explained more about the organisation and the upcoming Cocktails by Candlelight fundraiser.
Annie, Dress for Success is a not-for-profit organisation, and we exist to help women in need get into the workforce, and we do that through a number of ways. First of all, we have our dressing program, and that is where we provide an interview appropriate outfit so that a woman can go for an interview feeling really confident. There's this wonderful quote from Coco Chanel that says, "Dress shabbily and they remember the dress, dress impeccably and they remember the woman." And I think that's what we're really all about. We take away that discrimination that occurs during those first 30 seconds when you walk into an interview where someone just judges you on your appearance. Now that happens in the first 10 to 20 seconds, and then that's gone. And then if you pass muster, they will dig deeper. So we take away that discrimination. We also have a career centre and we have a professional women's group, and the career centre gives the tools to help women go for their interview. So we have volunteers who help women work up their CVs and also write cover letters, help them with interview techniques, because it's really hard to go for an interview. It's very, very difficult. I'm sweating now, with you, and you're lovely. You're not like this horrible job interview. But yeah, it's very hard to go for an interview. We give them the techniques to cope, what they're going to do. We also go for cover letters, all that sort of stuff. And then our professional women's group is a job retention program.
You receive no government funding, but you've got a major fundraiser coming up this Thursday, the 31st of July. Tell me about that.
Oh, this is going to be so much fun. It's at the Grandstand, Thursday the 31st, and it starts at 7. Now, for $65, that covers all your cocktails. So we have this wonderful guy called Karai Wall. He's known as the Nitro guy or the cocktail guy. He's a New Zealand Flair Black, and he's award winning, so he's mixed all these amazing cocktails. So he makes a special Dress for Success cocktail that you get as you walk in the door. Then he'll do this wee show, think Tom Cruise and cocktail, you know, with all the and he does all the cocktails, and you get the extra cocktail, whatever you want to drink. There's bubbles, there's beer, you can have whatever you like. And then there's a light supper as well, and that's all inclusive in your $65. So you get the show by Karai, which is interactive. So at some point he'll probably get one or two of you up to do the cocktails and stuff. We've got mystery envelopes that you can buy for $20, and you will be guaranteed to get at least $50 worth in those mystery envelopes. And also we have 3 of our success stories from throughout the year, 3 women who've successfully gotten jobs. They're going to be part of a fashion show on the nights.
To find out more information or to buy your ticket for Cocktails by Candlelight, go to dressforsuccess.org.nz/Hamilton. Still to come, weather for the weekend and the Silk Awards. Welcome back. Supported Individualised Lifestyle Choices is the service arm of the Silk Charitable Trust, an independent trust with strong beliefs that all people are valued contributing members of their communities. The Tauranga branch recently held an awards night to honour those who make the whole thing possible. Welcome to the show, Therese. Now tell me about the awards that you guys had.
We had our Star Awards last Thursday night at Bay Park in Tauranga. It was hosted by the Silk Charitable Trust, and we had a small team of people that put it together. We had 170 people attend, and it was our first night, so we weren't sure how many people would come, so we were really excited. It was a glitz and glamour event, so people got to dress up, and we were lucky we had some sponsors, and it was a great night, great party, great celebration to celebrate all of our staff, and staff are so excited they're talking about next year's event.
Because I understand you guys were quite surprised by how many nominations came through.
We were. It's the first event, and so we weren't sure how people would take to it and how much it would be supported. Families and friends and people we support and other staff could nominate, and there were 9 categories, and we got over 60 nominations for people. It was really difficult actually to be able to pick the winner.
So how did you go about picking the winner? Who were some of the winners?
Well, we had a team that narrowed it down to 3 or 4 finalists, because actually they couldn't even narrow it down to 3 finalists. And then 2 board members and myself picked the winner for each category. So some of the Employee of the Year award, which was sponsored by Group Health and Life, was won by Steve Smith. Our philosophical champion, and the nomination said this person breathed our philosophy, and that was sponsored by Avenue Autoport, and the winner of that was Manfred Meader.
Wow. Okay, so what is Silk? Let's go back to the beginning. Let's establish what Silk is.
The Silk Charitable Trust is an organisation set up in Tauranga to provide community supports to people. It currently has 3 companies that it does that through. Silk Limited, which was set up in 1991. Peter James, our founder, set Silk Limited up to support people who had a disability to live lives in the community. Today, Silk supports people who have a disability, people who have an injury, and people who have age-related challenges to live in their homes. Switched On, which grew out of Silk, and that's a company that supports people in the community to access equipment and mobility aids so they can stay in their home. And it also provides training to individuals and organisations to be the best that they can be. And our newest company is Castle. That's a property company working in collaboration with other housing organisations in Tauranga to try to ensure that we have the best, the most affordable and the most accessible accommodation for people in our region.
How much do people appreciate that support when they've, especially if somebody's had a major accident and all of a sudden their life is turned absolutely upside down and they can't live the life that they used to lead, how much do they get, appreciate that somebody's out there helping?
I think it makes a huge difference to people's lives, especially to be able to stay in their own home and to have regular staff that they can build relationships with, that they know well, that they can trust. It's really difficult when you need to have support in your own home or support in any way of your life. And so we work really hard to develop relationships with people, and then people become part of people's lives and they provide that holistic support, and it makes a huge difference. It really does. And I think that's one of the reasons for our Star Awards, was to be able to celebrate the value that our staff bring, the difference that they make in people's world. And it is important to be able to recognise that in our community.
Because you guys actually won some awards at the Westpac Business Awards, didn't you?
We did. We entered last year. It was brave for us to enter, we thought. We've often flown under the radar and stayed quite quiet. But we decided after 20 years in our community it was time to celebrate our staff and the amazing work that they do. So we entered and we were so excited. We won the Health and Safety Award and the Community Organisation Award. And the buzz throughout our organisation for the last year has been amazing. It was a great forum for us to do it in.
You guys won awards at the Westpac Business Awards. You've got these amazing employers and volunteers. You are a charitable trust though as well. So what do you think makes the organisation so successful?
I think it stems from the vision that Peter James had when he set us up in 1991, that every individual, no matter what their challenge, is a valued person and that they have a right to live the life they want in the community. Our staff absolutely believe that. They breathe it, they walk it, they talk it. And we have a belief and a philosophy that everybody's interdependent, and so our staff, the people we support and our community are all interwoven. Our organisation supports that concept by having great practices, by supporting training, and the whole organisation walks it, talks it, and I think that's what makes a difference, the relationships that we build with people, because ultimately it's about the people. It's only about the people. And if we truly walk and talk and breathe what we believe, then that's what makes a difference in everybody's world.
To find out more about Silk and the work they do, you can visit silk.co.nz. Up next, Disney on Ice. Welcome back. Disney on Ice has been in town and with almost every character ever imagined from years of Disney creations. Last night, children of Hamilton got the chance to have their photos taken with two of the originals, Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Annie went along and caught up with another nostalgic character.
Disney on Ice presents Treasure Trove. It's exactly that, a treasure trove of all the fabulous characters that we've come to know and love over the years. There's the Lion King, Mickey and Minnie, and also the princesses, and of course, wonderful Tinkerbell. And with me now is Maria Simone, who is Tinkerbell. Welcome to New Zealand.
Thank you.
We're so excited to have Disney on Ice here in Hamilton, running until Sunday. Tell me, what can we expect to see at Disney on Ice?
Well, our show is called Treasure Trove, and it is a great show. It's a variety show. We have everything from the classics. We start all the way at the original Snow White, and we go all the way through up to the newer films like Tangled and Princess and the Frog.
So there really is every Disney character that's ever been. How do they all fit together?
It's actually a great story. We use our special guests to tell a tale in between all the different treasures, which are all the different stories. So that's how we connect it all together. So it has a nice flow to it in between each story you see.
Now, you've been in Hamilton for about a week, and you've done a bit of sightseeing. What have you seen?
I went to Hobbiton. So, of course, I had to go see where all the Lord of the Rings movies were made. It's famous here. I wanted to see some of the scenery. I drove up to some of the hot springs in Cathedral Cove just to stop at the beaches and see the beautiful sights. And I've really just enjoyed my time here in New Zealand.
Tell me about your background as an ice skater. Have you always skated, or are you specially trained? How does it work?
Well, actually, I personally, and many of us, started when we were very young, about 5 or 6, and I trained and I competed for about 20 years before I joined Disney on Ice. And so we're all pretty trained in our skating talents, and many of us also have balletic backgrounds or dancing backgrounds, kind of to help with the skating.
Now, I have a few questions from the viewers, and they really these are pressing questions. First of all, a young man from Matamata wants to know, Mr. Alexander actually from Matamata, wants to know, do you know the tooth fairy? And if you do, can you make his teeth wiggle so that they fall out faster?
I will do my very best to make that happen.
Little boy Lachlan up in Auckland wants to know, do you know how the pixie dust becomes blue?
Well, that's a little special secret of mine, but if you come to the show, you can see some of my pixie dust fly around and try and figure it out for yourself.
Fantastic. I'm sure you make a beautiful Tinkerbell. I can't wait to see the show. Sunday 5 p.m. we'll be here. That's the last show, of course. Tell me, as Tinkerbell, the character, how do you think she is relevant as a role model for little girls in 2014?
I actually love playing her as a character because she's not the perfect princess that you tend to see, that always happy and everything's going great. She presents a lot of different emotions and she goes through different things, and that's more relevant to real life. You have things you have to go through, but she finds a way to push through and gets a positive result in the end and keeps her head up, and that's, I think, a very relevant, positive image for girls.
We love it. Disney on Ice presents Treasure Trove. Don't miss it. It's at Claudelands Events Centre this weekend until 5 p.m.
Now for our region's weather for the weekend. Hamilton, your Saturday, mainly fine with that southwesterly dying away. Your expected high is 13 and an overnight low of 0. The rest of the Waikato, mainly fine, a shower or two about on the coast, southwesterly gradually dying away as well. Paeroa 13 and 3. Matamata 11 and 2, Te Awamutu 13 and 0, and Tokoroa 11 and an overnight low of -1. Tauranga, fine with fresh southwesterlies, 14 your expected high and 3 an overnight low. The rest of the bay, fine with fresh southwesterlies as well. Te Puke, your expected high is 12 and an overnight low of 4. Sunday for you, Hamilton, fine with light winds, 13 your expected high and an overnight low of -2. The rest of the Waikato mainly fine with light winds too. Paeroa 14 and an overnight low of 1. Matamata 12 and 0. Te Awamutu 13 and -2. And Tokoroa 11 and there's that -2 overnight low again. Tauranga fine, southerlies dying away, 14 and 2 your expected temperatures. The rest of the bay, fine, southerlies dying out there as well. Te Puke, your expected high is 13 and an overnight low of 3. That is Central News for today and this week. We appreciate your feedback, so like us on Facebook, centralnews.tv, or email us at news@tvcentral.co.nz. Tune in next week for Cocktails by Candlelight, Women in Politics and an update on the TEL. Until then, I'm Hilary Ntwistle. I hope you have a lovely evening, a fantastic weekend.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.